Consensus.
General agreement among a group of people. Agreement. Like-mindedness. Accord. There is a growing consensus about the best approaches for reducing carbon emissions.
Retain.
To keep or continue to have something. Maintain. Withhold. Keep up. If we want to retain youthful vigor, we have to exercise on a regular basis.
Contemporary.
Existing, or occurring at the same time. Concurrent. Coexisting. Simultaneous. We have been experiencing new trends and cultures in our contemporary society.
Panacea.
Something that will solve all problems, or illnesses. Remedy. Magic formula. Perfect solution. It is believed that music is the panacea for all kinds of depression and illness.
Concentrate.
Focus all one's attention on a particular activity. Pay attention. Observe. Give heed. In the dry season, animals tend to concentrate in the areas where there is water.
Underprivileged.
Lacking essential things for a comfortable life. Impoverished. Deprived. Destitute. Many affluent people in this community come from underprivileged backgrounds.
Analogy.
Comparison between things that have similar features. Likeness. Comparability. Metaphor. He drew an analogy between running the economy and a housewife's weekly budget.
Align.
Arrange something in the correct position. Coordinate. Order. Make parallel. All the schools had to align their programs with state requirements.
Reminiscent.
Awakening memories of something similar. Indicative. Evocative. Nostalgic. It is known that the simple blue cornflower is reminiscent of summer meadows.
Ubiquity.
Existing or being everywhere at the same time. Prevalence. All presence. Worldwide. Digital communication has been gaining popularity and ubiquity all over the world.
Supervise.
Observe and direct the work of someone. Look after. Guard. Inspect. The UN has supervised the distribution of aid by local agencies in the disaster areas.
Timely.
Happening at the best possible moment. Appropriate. Seasonable. Auspicious. The incident served as a timely reminder of how dangerous our environment can be.
Amendment.
A change made to an original document. Alteration. Change. Correction. The new amendment will remove the inconsistency between the two laws.
Utilize.
To use something for a particular purpose. Make use of. Harness. Implement. The Romans were the first to utilize concrete as a building material.
Skeptical.
Doubting that something is true or useful. Suspicious. Doubtful. Distrustful. They are skeptical about how much will be accomplished by new legislation.
Contradiction.
Ideas that are opposed to one another. Reverse. Contrary. Incongruity. These consequences are in flat contradiction to the theory of popular science.
Unleash.
To let happen or begin something powerful. Launch. Introduce. Unshackle. The company is intended to unleash more sophisticated financial products in Japan.
Vivid.
Producing powerful feelings, or clear images. Realistic. Lifelike. Graphic. The artist was known for his vivid paintings that were distinguished by their colors.
Millennium.
A period of 1,000 years. Generation. Epoch. Chronology. The book describes the changes that have occurred over the last millennium.
Orchestrate.
To design or organize something. Organize. Mastermind. Harmonize. Their victory was a result of their intensely orchestrated election campaign.
Far-fetched.
Difficult to believe and unlikely to be true. Unrealistic. Unlikely. Questionable. The alien story published in the newspaper seems to be far-fetched and unreal.
Dissemination.
Spreading something, especially information, widely. Broadcasting. Distribution. Publication. With encyclopedias, we can disseminate a wealth of information to all students.
Deter.
To prevent someone from doing something. Deny access. Discourage. Stop. The increasing amount of price is deterring many young people from buying houses.
Witty.
Using words in a clever and funny way. Humorous. Fanciful. Sharp-witted. She made jokes at the teachers and had witty comments that were a little saucy.
Accusation.
A claim that someone is guilty of a crime. Condemnation. Charge. Imputation. Making a false accusation that led to an innocent person going to prison.
Affiliate.
To become part of a group or organization. Associate. Combine. Amalgamate. It is mandatory for all youth groups to affiliate with the National Youth Agency.
Reasonable.
Behaving in a sensible and fair way. Adequate. Satisfactory. Decent. The beauty company sells a wide range of cosmetics at a very reasonable price.
Bias.
Prejudice for or against one person or group. Favoritism. Unfairness. Leaning. Federal court representatives were suspected of arbitrariness and personal bias.
Evolve.
To develop by gradual changes. Thrive. Emerge. Progress. A significant number of flowers have evolved remarkable means of insect pollination.
Absurd.
Ridiculous, or completely unreasonable. Foolish. Irrational. Laughable. It is absurd to cut taxes without offering another way to raise money.
Manipulation.
Controlling something or someone in a clever way. Regulation. Operation. Exploitation. The system was designed to organize and manipulate large amounts of data.
Fabricate.
Make up information that is not true. Formulate. Compose. Put together. The spy has fabricated a new identity to blend into the community and go unnoticed.
Sanguine.
Positive and hoping for good things. Optimistic. Upbeat. Promising. Although the economy is looking better, we should not be too sanguine about the future.
Surveillance.
The careful watching of a person or place. Spying. Reconnaissance. Observation. The perpetrator was arrested after being kept under constant surveillance.
Intimidate.
Frighten someone to make them do something. Scare. Terrorize. Threaten. Attempts to intimidate people into voting for the leading party did not work.
Intrigued.
Arouse the curiosity or interest in something. Captivated. Absorbed. Inquisitive. When I studied weaving, I became intrigued with natural dyes and coloring.
Privilege.
Special benefits available only to some people. Advantage. Benefit. Prerogative. The senior staff enjoy certain privileges, such as company cars and health insurance.
Outweigh.
To be more significant in value or importance. Supersede. Surpass. Be greater than. It is practical to ask whether the advantages outweigh the disadvantages.
Vulnerable.
Susceptible to being attacked or damaged. Unprotected. Helpless. Exposed. Autistic people are particularly vulnerable members of our society.
Successor.
A person who follows next in order. Inheritor. Beneficiary. Descendant. It is evident that we are regulating our future and that of our successors.
Halt.
To stop from happening or developing. Terminate. Suppress. Discontinue. We, therefore, need an independent system of open government to halt corruption.
Superficial.
Concerned only with what is obvious or apparent. Perfunctory. Shallow. Sketchy. Despite their superficial similarities, the two sisters are in fact very different.
Paradigm.
A typical example or pattern of something. Prototype. Standard. Template. Technological innovation is creating a new paradigm, a new way of doing something.
Camouflage.
Disguise the presence of a person or object. Disguise. Mask. Obfuscate. Many animals have a natural camouflage that hides them from their predators.
Samba.
A feeling of great sadness. Bleak. Depressing. Miserable. Losing the final match, the whole team was samba for many days.
Perseverance.
Continued effort to do or achieve something. Determination. Persistence. Dedication. Perseverance is not a long race, it is many short races one after another.
Prioritize.
Treat something as more important than others. Highlight. Focus on. Rank fast. Learning to prioritize tasks is vital in order to get work done effectively.
Whimsical.
Spontaneously fanciful or playful. Outlandish. Eccentric. Capricious. It would be more rewarding and fulfilling if we have a whimsical attitude toward life.
Dilemma.
Situation when we must make difficult decisions. Predicament. Conundrum. Confusion. I found myself in a dilemma and really didn't know what to do for the best.
Outlaw.
Completely stop something by making it illegal. Prohibit. Banish. Exclude. The management passed a bill outlawing the hiring of children under the age of 14.
Definitive.
Considered to be the best of its type. Perfect. Ultimate. Most reliable. There are no definitive solutions to this problem of environmental damage.
Collaboration.
Working together for a common purpose. Partnership. Association. Affiliation. The teacher wrote the book in collaboration with one of his students.
Summon.
Formally call for the presence of someone. Ask for. Request. Invite. She has been summoned to appear in court on charges of agitation to law breaking.
Robust.
Exhibiting strength or vigorous health. Sturdy. Durable. Long-lasting. The company is able to generate stronger sales with robust profit margins.
Diplomacy.
Ability to manage international relations. Discretion. Tactfulness. Foreign policy. The regime avoided a war by successfully resolving the issues through diplomacy.
Dwindle.
Reduce gradually in size, amount, or strength. Diminish. Decline. Lessen. Over the year, the factory's workforce has dwindled from over 5,000 to a few hundred.
Dogmatic.
Asserting opinions in an arrogant manner. Adamant. Prejudiced. One-sided. There is a danger of becoming too dogmatic about teaching religion.
Elimination.
Complete removal or destruction of something. Termination. Abolition. Removal. It is considered that the best investment for poverty elimination is education.
Anticipate.
Think that something will probably happen. Predict. Forecast. Apprehend. Experts say it's always best to anticipate a problem before it arises.
Bewildered.
Completely puzzled or confused. Baffled. Speechless. Or struck. We have been bewildered by the advancement in information technology.
Auction.
A public sale of goods to the highest bidder. Bidding. Public sale. Trading. A painting by Leonardo da Vinci was recently sold for $30 million in an auction.
Reform.
Make changes for improvement or development. Amend. Reorganize. Regenerate. The economic reform brought about great change in the lives of the general people.
Seductive.
Having alluring or tempting qualities. Alluring. Tantalizing. Tempting. Advertising agencies use seductive images to get more attention from consumers.
Essence.
Most important idea or quality of something. Synopsis. Abstract. Summarization. The essence of his opinion was that education should continue throughout life.
Inhibit.
To prevent something from growing or developing. Restrain. Regulate. Withhold. Too much emphasis on memorizing can inhibit the growth of creative thinking.
Ambivalent.
Having mixed feelings about something. Indecisive. Uncertain. Hesitant. He retained an ambivalent attitude toward the church throughout his long life.
Diversity.
The state of being different, or varied. Variety. Manifoldness. Multiplicity. Diversity is of paramount importance to all ecosystems and all economies.
Embody.
To represent a quality or an idea exactly. Epitomize. Symbolize. Express. No one would deny that music can embody great humane and religious themes.
Solemn.
Very serious or formal in manner. Serious. Profound. Big deal. All affiliates had to swear a solemn oath never to disclose the secrets of the company.
Exposure.
The state of being vulnerable or exposed. Susceptibility. Vulnerability. Contact. There is substantial evidence of a link between exposure to the sun and skin cancer.
Promote.
To contribute to the growth or prosperity. Upgrade. Stimulate. Trigger. We should not sacrifice environmental protection to promote economic growth.
Laudatory.
Expressing praise or admiration. Admiring. Complimentary. Extolling. The laudatory announcement praised the team's efforts during the final contest.
Hierarchy.
Organizing people into different ranks. Ranking. Ordering. Class system. He worked his way up through the political hierarchy to become the party leader.
Articulate.
The ability to speak fluently and coherently. Fit together. Accentuate. Integrate. When children start talking, there are some sounds that they find difficult to articulate.
Audacious.
Showing a willingness to take risks. Daring. Courageous. Fearless. Their audacious goal is to compete with the luxury cars of other manufacturers.
Longevity.
Describe the length of one's lifetime. Durability. Long life. Continuation. Increasing our omega-3 intake may therefore support better health and longevity.
Execute.
To carry out fully, put completely into effect. Implement. Govern. Administer. The system allows a computer user to execute multiple programs simultaneously.
Provocative.
Intended to annoy or upset people. Instigative. Annoying. Irritating. In a deliberately provocative speech, they criticized the whole system of the economy.
Hazard.
An unavoidable danger, or risk. Jeopardy. Imperilment. Danger. The increasing amount of water pollution represents a serious health hazard to the local community.
Renovate.
To repair and improve something. Repair. Refurbish. Recondition. There are already plans to renovate the buildings and make them habitable.
Wrathful.
Full of, or marked by extreme anger. Furious. Ill-tempered. Indignant. In the Bible, we observe the wrathful and furious destruction of past civilizations.
Inclination.
A person's natural tendency, or urge. Propensity. Proneness. Partiality. We should be grounding our decisions on solid facts, not inclinations and intuitions.
Exacerbate.
To make a bad situation, or a problem worse. Provoke. Bother. Become worse. This attack will exacerbate the tense relations between the two nations.
Reticent.
Unwilling to speak about thoughts or feelings. Reserved. Taciturn. Introverted. At first, she was reticent, but later she relaxed and was more forthcoming for discussion.
Monopoly.
Exclusive possession or control of something. Domination. Suppression. Authority. In the past, central government had a monopoly on television broadcasting.
Safeguard.
To protect someone or something from harm. Defend. Secure. Keep safe. The new laws encompass important safeguards for credit card customers.
Exponential.
Growing or increasing very rapidly. Rampant. Expanding. Flourishing. There has been an exponential increase in the world population this century.
Endorsement.
The action of supporting someone or something. Approval. Sanction. Authorization. Some sportspersons get contracts for product endorsements worth millions of dollars.
Decipher.
Solve a complicated situation or problem. Unravel. Elucidate. Resolve. Deciphering the paradox requires an individual look at each of these concepts.
Splendid.
Very impressive and beautiful. Magnificent. Dazzling. Lavish. On Christmas Eve, the fireworks looked very splendid against the dark sky.
Assurance.
A positive promise, pledge, or guarantee. Promise. Guarantee. Assertion. They gave an assurance that the work would be completed before the deadline.
Illuminate.
To light something and make it brighter. Highlight. Enlighten. Elucidate. Hopefully, their investigation will illuminate the police corruption in the small town.
Euphoric.
Feelings of generating intense happiness. Overjoyed. Exhilarated. Elated. Scientists are euphoric at the potential success of genetic engineering on humans.
Conservation.
Prevention of wasteful use of a resource. Preservation. Protection. Guarding. Industrial development is not normally permitted in conservation areas.
Dismantle.
To take something apart, or break down. Deconstruct. Fragment. Separate. The authority worried that dismantling the welfare state would increase poverty.
Poignant.
Having a very sharp feeling of sadness. Moving. Heartbreaking. Touching. The photograph awakens poignant memories of my painful days in the past.
Propaganda.
Information that is biased or misleading in nature. Misinformation. Hype. Promotion. The company adopted an aggressive propaganda campaign against its rivals.
Intensify.
Make the best or most effective use of a situation. Ameliorate. Modify. Upgrade. The company proposed a new method to intensify the operation of wind energy.
Malicious.
Showing a desire to cause harm to someone. Pernicious. Spiteful. Resentful. Recent incidents have demonstrated that malicious hackers are still active online.
Concession.
Something that is allowed or given up. Negotiation. Settlement. Compromise. The contestant made an emotional concession speech when it was clear that he had lost.
Confront.
Deal with a difficult situation or person. Oppose. Challenge. Withstand. Justice departments encourage victims of crime to confront their emotions.
Introspective.
Examination of one's thoughts and feelings. Meditative. Thoughtful. Reflective. The singer is famous for her introspective songs about failed relationships.
Longing.
A strong desire for something or someone. Desire. Yearning. Hankering. I was overwhelmed with longing for those innocent days of my early childhood.
Retrieve.
To find and bring back something. Reclaim. Regain. Take back. The authority was trying to retrieve weapons left when the army abandoned the island.
Ambiguous.
Having more than one possible meaning. Confusing. Uncertain. Double-edged. This agreement is very ambiguous and open to various suggestions and interpretations.
Mechanism.
The technical aspects of doing something. Procedure. Technique. System. The modern watch mechanism is extremely intricate and very difficult to repair.
Conquer.
To defeat someone or something. Overcome. Subjugate. Beat. This heroic man was one of the first climbers to conquer Mount Everest.
Derogatory.
Showing a critical or disrespectful attitude. Contemptuous. Abusive. Insulting. The disagreement contained a number of derogatory racial remarks and hate speech.
Specimen.
Something shown or examined as an example. Sample. Illustration. Fragment. The museum will pay large amounts of money for dinosaur fossil specimens.
Combat.
Fight or contest between individuals or groups. Withstand. Cope with. Battle against. The authorities are taking steps to combat racism among children in schools.
Authentic.
Something real or genuine. Original. Genuine. Legitimate. The visitor to the museum can enjoy a medieval banquet in an authentic setting.
Harmony.
A pleasing combination of different parts. Coordination. Balance. Accordance. The study shows strong harmony between patient health and patient happiness.
Hypnotize.
Capture the whole attention of someone. Mesmerize. Enchant. Captivate. The therapist hypnotized him and asked him about his traumatic experiences in the war.
Elegant.
Graceful and stylish in appearance or manner. Sophisticated. Polished. Artistic. We have never experienced such an elegant beach before. I went to Hawaii.
Negotiation.
Discussion aimed at reaching an agreement. Compromise. Settlement. Discussion. The agreement between the nations was reached after a series of negotiations.
Evaluate.
To judge something with respect and value. Weigh. Appraise. Measure. It will take us a few months to fully evaluate your proficiency in English.
Fervent.
Having, or displaying a passionate intensity. Passionate. Vehement. Intense. Most successful people are fervent supporters of self-determination.
Obligation.
A moral or legal duty to do something. Accountability. Onus. Responsibility. We believe that all people have a moral obligation to defend human rights.
Contribute.
To contribute money or resources to something. Donate. Volunteer. Cooperate. Students are encouraged to contribute articles to the college magazine.
Esoteric.
Having an inner or secret meaning. Enigmatic. Cryptic. Obscure. Its esoteric meaning is in the domain of the academic rather than the layman.
Cliché.
A phrase or opinion that is overused. Banality. Commonplace. Buzzword. Provide something new because your argument is just a cliché I've heard 1,000 times.
Deal with.
To take action in order to achieve something. Address. Negotiate. Handle. The sales assistants are trained to deal with customers in a friendly manner.
Glorious.
When something is fabulous or wonderful. Majestic. Grandiose. Grand. The newspaper article described the battle as a glorious victory for the nation.
Bleak.
Lacking reasons to feel happy or hopeful. Gloomy. Miserable. Depressing. Our future will be bleak unless we protect our environment and natural resources.
Abolish.
Officially get rid of a law or system. Obliterate. Eliminate. Nullify. The Parliament has implemented a new law to abolish the death penalty for murder.
Exuberant.
Feeling really happy and enthusiastic. Exhilarated. Cheerful. Full of life. Her poems, novels, and comedies are full of wit and exuberant vitality.
Persuasion.
The act of causing people to believe something. Inducement. Motivation. Enticement. In the modern era, persuasion has become the most visible form of advertising.
Manifest.
The public display of emotion or feeling. Demonstrate. Delineate. Present. The mine workers chose to manifest their dissatisfaction in a series of strikes.
Sardonic.
Being scornful and mocking in a humorous way. Sarcastic. Ironical. Mocking. People usually make sardonic remarks or cynical observations about their past failures.
Redundancy.
Situation where worker is no longer needed. Oversupply. Surplus. Needlessness. The enterprise is offering large payoffs to anyone accepting voluntary redundancy.
Commence.
To start happening or doing something. Inaugurate. Begin. Initiate. The academic year commences at the beginning of October each year.
Insipid.
Not having a strong taste or character. Boring. Characterless. Monotonous. Please do not be an insipid speaker who makes the audience fall asleep.
Coincidence.
Events occur at the same time by chance. Chance. Good luck. Happy incident. By a strange coincidence, they happen to be traveling on the same train.
Persuade.
To make someone agree to do something. Convince. Compel. Instigate. The lawyer tried to persuade his client to accept the generous settlement offer.
Cliché.
A phrase or expression that has been used so often. Commonplace. Banality. Saying. My favorite saying of all time is a bit of a cliché: what goes around comes around.
Constraint.
A thing that limits something, or someone. Restriction. Impediment. Hindrance. Water shortages in the area will be the main constraint on the project development.
Leverage.
Power used to achieve a desired result. Support. Utilize. Force. Supermarket chains have greater leverage than single-outlet enterprises.
Perceptible.
Capable of being noticed and recognizable. Discernible. Apparent. Detectable. The past few years have seen a perceptible improvement in working standards.
Solitude.
The state or situation of being alone. Isolation. Aloneness. Desolation. I enjoyed a few moments of peace in the solitude of the mountain.
Jeopardize.
To put something or someone in danger. Endanger. Imperil. Sabotage. She knew that by failing her exam, she could jeopardize her whole career.
Miraculous.
Very wonderful, or amazing like a miracle. Magical. Astounding. Phenomenal. It was a completely miraculous victory over a much stronger enemy.
Triumph.
A great success, achievement, or victory. Conquest. Attainment. Fulfillment. Eventually, they were able to achieve an outstanding triumph against their rivals.
Challenge.
To invite someone to take part in a competition. Question. Oppose. Fight against. Finding a solution to climate change is one of the greatest challenges in our time.
Colloquial.
Associated with familiar and informal conversation. Unofficial. Casual. Conversational. It's challenging to understand the colloquial idioms of a foreign language.
Deception.
A trick or scheme used to get what you want. Fraud. Cheating. Deceitfulness. Detectives followed the criminal for months hoping to catch him in some deception.
Urge.
To encourage someone, or support earnestly. Recommend. Suggest. Lobby. Investigators urged that safety procedures on the spot should be improved.
Repulsive.
Extremely unpleasant, or unacceptable. Distasteful. Repellent. Awful. The repulsive smell of the dead animals made the total atmosphere unpleasant.
Endurance.
The ability to withstand hardship or adversity. Durability. Stability. Lasting power. To win a strong competition, you may wish to increase your fitness and endurance.
Manipulate.
To manage or influence skillfully. Negotiate. Deploy. Maneuver. He felt that he had been manipulated by the people he trusted most.
Tranquil.
Quiet and free from disturbance. Soothing. Serene. Pleasing. The relationship between the two counties had become tranquil, after a very upsetting period.
Vanity.
The excessive pride in one's own abilities. Egotism. Pompousness. Arrogance. No animal should suffer or die for human arrogance, greed, and vanity.
Invade.
Enter a territory forcefully, as an enemy. Occupy. Trespass. Encroach. Most famous people often find their privacy is invaded by the press.
Abnormal.
Deviating from the normal or average. Exceptional. Unusual. Extraordinary. Astronauts have identified some abnormal phenomena in outer space.
Adaptation.
Adjustment to environmental conditions. Adjustment. Modification. Expansion. The documentary described the adaptation of desert species to hot conditions.
Hinder.
Stop someone or something from making progress. Hamper. Slow down. Constrain. It's not clear whether the education reform will help or hinder our needs.
Excruciating.
Causing great pain or anguish. Agonizing. Tormenting. Dreadful. Witnesses described to the police the brutal racial attack in excruciating detail.
Intervention.
The act of becoming involved in an argument. Mediation. Involvement. Arbitration. People in general do not support military intervention in the Civil War.
Reinforce.
To give strong support to an opinion or idea. Strengthen. Underpin. Galvanize. It is important to acknowledge our successes and reinforce our positive feelings.
Ludicrous.
Causing laughter because of absurdity. Nonsensical. Silly. Outlandish. The ludicrous movie is about a fox that becomes the president of a country.
Reasoning.
Process of thinking in an intelligent way. Logic. Thought process. Deduction. Their reasoning is based on the premise that all people are equally good and evil.
Unearth.
To uncover or bring to light by search. Discover. Disclose. Unmask. The archaeologists have unearthed several fossils from the bottom of the river bed.
Delicate.
Easily damaged, or requires careful handling. Dainty. Exquisite. Graceful. The rapid growth of urbanization has harmed our delicate ecological balance.
Bankruptcy.
Unable to repay outstanding debts of a business. Insolvency. Financial ruin. Failure. Nowadays, bankruptcy is a common phenomenon in an economic recession.
Revitalize.
To make something grow and develop. Refresh. Strengthen. Escalate. The mayor hopes to revitalize the neighborhood by providing better housing.
Dexterous.
Any skillful or clever physical movement. Proficient. Skillful. Professional. It is true that as people grow older, they generally become less dexterous.
Compensation.
Money given to someone in recognition of loss. Remuneration. Commission. Payoff. The family received compensation from the government for the damage to their property.
Generalize.
Make general statements about people or things. Oversimplify. Conclude. Surmise. We cannot generalize about the effects of the new drugs from one or two cases.
Petrified.
So frightened that one is unable to move. Terrified. Frightened. Horror-stricken. The girl was absolutely petrified at the thought of jumping off the bridge.
Irony.
Words that mean the opposite of their literal meaning. Satire. Mockery. Double meaning. The irony is that his mistake will actually improve the team's current situation.
Emphasize.
To give special importance to something. Stress. Highlight. Underline. A nurturing environment where people emphasize growth and development.
Devastating.
Highly destructive or damaging. damaging, detrimental, fatal. It will be a devastating blow to the local workers if the factory closes.
Indifference.
Lacking interest or enthusiasm in things. Apathy. Dispassion. Aloofness. Most native speakers of a language show indifference towards grammatical points.
Consent.
Give permission for something to happen. Approve. Sanction. Allow. Patients must be informed of the risks of the operation and give their full consent.
Dubious.
Uncertain feelings or doubt about something. Wavering. Tentative. Equivocal. The government regulatory body was accused of dubious accounting practices.
Discrimination.
Unjust treatment of diverse categories of people. Inequity. Injustice. One-sidedness. The new legislation has contributed to preventing racial discrimination and inequality.
Materialize.
To come into perceptible existence. Occur. Take place. Come about. If you desire to make your dreams materialize, you must take steps to make them real.
Coherent.
Logical and well-organized, easy to understand. Understandable. Logical. Reasonable. Many students appeared hardly capable of conducting coherent writing.
Evolution.
Process of development through gradual changes. Progression. Emergence. Development. Fossil records indicate that Africa was the introduction of early human evolution.
Optimize.
To make the best possible use of something. Augment. Heighten. Elevate. If you optimize the production process, you could speed up the assembly line radically.
Heartfelt.
Very strongly felt, or extremely sincere. Earnest. Wholehearted. Deepest. Please accept my heartfelt thanks now for your sincerity and your generosity.
Hyperbole.
An intentional and obvious exaggeration. Overstatement. Embellishment. Bombast. I suppose using such hyperbole regularly makes her feel good about herself.
Empower.
To give official authority or legal power. Sanction. Authorize. Legitimize. Teachers also help empower kids to solve problems in their own ways.
Egotistical.
Thinking you are more important than others. Pompous. Narcissistic. Selfish. My brother is very egotistical and thinks he is by far the best baseball player.
Nostalgia.
An affectionate feeling from the past. Reminiscence. Fond memory. Recollection. Looking back at childhood photographs always brings back a sense of nostalgia.
Replenish.
To make full, or complete again. Refill. Resupply. Restore. All animals need sleep to replenish their energies for the next awakening.
Perplexed.
Something is difficult to understand or solve. Confused. Puzzled. Baffled. The sudden ups and downs of the share market have left analysts perplexed.
Hospitality.
Friendly or welcoming behavior towards guests. Generosity. Amiability. Kindness. In modern societies, we have been experiencing a decline in courtesy and hospitality.
Ambush.
Attack someone after hiding and waiting. Strike. Entrap. Capture. Fear of ambush prevents the police from going to high-risk mountainous areas.
Outstanding.
Much better than usual, excellent. Distinguished. Superb. Brilliant. His outstanding performances set a new benchmark for athletes throughout the world.
Inspection.
The act of looking at something carefully. Examination. Analysis. Observation. The goods looked fine, but, on closer inspection, a number of items were found to be faulty.
Accelerate.
Make something happen faster, or greater. Quicken. Gain momentum. Boost. The new system is going to empower people and give them better information.
Luxurious.
Extremely comfortable, or elegant in manner. Sumptuous. Grandiose. Opulent. Our honeymoon was 3 days in Las Vegas at a luxurious hotel called Le Mirage.
Courtesy.
Polite behavior that shows respect for others. Politeness. Gentility. Courteousness. As a courtesy, we will send you a letter if there is any change to these arrangements.
Govern.
To rule over something with authority. Control. Administer. Regulate. The best of all governments is that which teaches us to govern ourselves.
Authoritarian.
Controlling everything and forcing people to obey. Tyrannical. Arbitrary. Domineering. In many nations, an increasingly authoritarian bureaucracy was gaining strength.
Obsession.
Too much thought about someone or something. Compulsion. Fascination. Addiction. The obsession with home ownership is one of the causes of the housing market crisis.
Overwhelm.
Affect someone's emotions in a powerful way. Deluge. Devastate. Bewilder. Napoleon's army was robust enough to overwhelm nearly any potential enemy.
Dramatic.
Causing great interest or excitement. Striking. Thrilling. Suspenseful. Environmentalists are alarmed by the dramatic increase in plastic pollution.
Legend.
Set of popular stories from ancient times. Mythology. Tradition. Folklore. Legend says, it is absolutely great to work with people who are at the top of their field.
Penetrate.
To move into or through something. Permeate. Access. Percolate. They are hoping to penetrate the European market with their latest product.
Destitute.
Essentially means not having something. Deprived. Impoverished. Insolvent. Taxpayers must pay health insurance premiums for the elderly and destitute.
Optimism.
Expecting that the best will happen. Hopefulness. Confidence. Buoyancy. International support has given rise to new optimism about the refugee crisis.
Acknowledge.
To accept or admit that something exists. Recognize. Admit. Concede. Gradually he began to acknowledge his feelings of envy toward his boss.
Mind-blowing.
Extremely impressive, or surprising. Breathtaking. Fabulous. Sublime. The astronauts had mind-blowing views of planet Earth from the spaceship.
Plethora.
An abundance or excess of something. Excess. Overabundance. Too many. The plethora of rules and regulations of the company is both contradictory and confusing.
Convey.
To communicate ideas or feelings indirectly. Make known. Get across. Proclaim. Words alone cannot convey the untold misery endured by people in these refugee camps.
Explicit.
Leaving no room for confusion or doubt. Definite. Straightforward. Exact. The government has been quite explicit about education reformation.
Procedure.
An established method of doing something. Formula. Method. Course of action. This new procedure will provide adequate safeguards against corruption.
Undertake.
To promise that you will do something. Initiate. Execute. Perform. Students are required to undertake simple experiments in college enrollment.
Gorgeous.
Strikingly beautiful, or magnificent. Attractive. Bewitching. Lovely. There is no denying the fact that this particular landscape looks absolutely gorgeous.
Possession.
The condition of having or owning something. Belongings. Asset. Commodity. Happiness lies not in the mere possession of money, it lies in the delight of achievement.
Collapse.
Shrink together abruptly and completely. Subside. Crumble. Break down. A poor economy can cause the collapse of thousands of small businesses.
Frivolous.
Not having any serious purpose or value. Insignificant. Trivial. Inconsiderable. My mother every so often spends her monthly pension on frivolous purchases.
Recognition.
Ability to recognize someone or something. Acceptance. Acknowledgement. Granting. The scientists deserve recognition for their innovative approach to the virus.
Assemble.
To bring together or gather into one place. Accumulate. Congregate. Amass. Within hours of the tragedy happening, an emergency rescue team had been assembled.
Appalling.
Very unpleasant and shocking. Shocking. Horrendous. Offensive. We witnessed some appalling acts of barbarism in the Russian-Ukraine war.
Intrusion.
Seizing or taking possession of another's property. Invasion. Trespass. Encroachment. Building a new airport nearby this area would be a noisy intrusion on their quiet lives.
Disguise.
To change the usual appearance, sound, or taste. Misrepresent. Pretend. Deceive. Opportunity often comes disguised in the form of misfortune, or temporary downfall.
Thrilled.
Feeling intense pleasurable excitement. Fascinated. Captivated. Beguiled. The newly released movie has thrilled audiences throughout the country.
Plagiarism.
Act of illegally reproducing copyrighted material. Stealing. Illegal copying. Piracy. The administration has already adopted effective measures against plagiarism.
Venture.
To expose to a difficult situation, or risk. Journey. Proceed. Invest. Both public and private sectors are encouraged to venture into the project.
Eloquent.
Fluent, or persuasive in speaking or writing. Persuasive. Expressive. Fervent. The interventions were made by the politically more skilled and eloquent participants.
Abuse.
To treat someone cruelly or violently. Maltreatment. Bullying. Oppression. Long-term abuse can lead to both psychological and emotional problems.
Eradicate.
Get rid of something bad completely. Remove. Expunge. Annihilate. They are already battling to eradicate illnesses such as malaria and polio.
Enchanting.
To attract and hold the attention of something. Alluring. Bewitching. Mesmerizing. It is an enchanting cathedral that is filled with ancient architecture and art.
Speculation.
Ideas about something that is not known. Conjecture. Assumption. Supposition. The news reports were published based on speculation and contained few proven facts.
Regulate.
To govern or direct according to rule. Manage. Arrange. Systematize. The government regulates how much lead may be found in our fish supply.
Grotesque.
Odd, or unnatural in shape and appearance. Distorted. Ill-shaped. Malformed. It is perhaps the most grotesque and repulsive art ever exhibited in the museum.
Resentment.
Angry feeling caused by unfair treatment. Bitterness. Hostility. Animosity. The problems of inflation and unemployment still cause a lot of resentment.
Advocate.
Giving public support, speaks in favor of something. Endorse. Recommend. Suggest. The Food Standards Agency advocated a ban on advertising junk food to children.
Gloomy.
Having or showing a lack of hope. Darkened. Despondent. Miserable. The weather forecast for the coming week is rather gloomy and pessimistic.
Discretion.
The right or ability to decide something. Choice. Judiciousness. Preference. The university councils have absolute discretion over which pupils they admit.
Proclaim.
Announce something publicly or officially. Declare. Announce. Indicate. The magazine proclaimed him to be the best player in baseball of the year.
Pensive.
Quietly sad, or thoughtful. Solemn. Sorrowful. Doleful. After the accident, she became pensive, hardly speaking to anyone.
Allowance.
Money allotted for a particular purpose. Allotment. Payment. Grant. Employees who transfer to a different office will receive a transport allowance.
Fluctuate.
Continually change or shift back and forth. Vacillate. Oscillate. Alter. Because of the increase in ticket prices, attendance at sporting events may fluctuate.
Insatiable.
Incapable of being satisfied or appeased. Unquenchable. Desiring. Pressing. The public has an insatiable appetite for stories about myths and legends.
Competence.
The ability to do something successfully. Aptitude. Efficacy. Expertise. The manager gradually developed the competence to deal with challenging tasks.
Mitigate.
To make a bad situation less severe. Downplay. Lessen. Relieve. Emergency funds are being provided to help mitigate the effects of the flood disaster.
Pungent.
Having a sharply strong taste or smell. Pervasive. Acerbic. Bitter. She is a prolific writer and capable of writing pungent, funny dialogue.
Resilience.
Ability to recover from illness and adversity. Determination. Toughness. Tenacity. The rescue workers showed noteworthy resilience in dealing with difficult conditions.
Adhere.
To stick or be attached firmly to do something. Follow. Comply with. Abide by. Some active individuals who want to stay healthy adhere to a vegan diet.
Elaborate.
To do with great care or with much detail. Detailed. Complicated. Thorough. We shall not elaborate on it any further, since much has already been said about this.
Retention.
The act of keeping someone or something. Conserving. Upholding. Protection. They can provide the best training and discuss the issues affecting recruitment and retention.
Ascend.
To move up or climb something. Climb. Conquer. Reach high. She ascended the corporate ladder because of her relationships with powerful executives.
Cumbersome.
Large, heavy, and therefore difficult to use. Weighty. Burdensome. Onerous. The authority promised to eliminate cumbersome and unnecessary bureaucracy.
Distinction.
The quality of being special or different. Distinctiveness. Contrast. Separation. In academics, we observe the major distinction between arts and sciences.
Concur.
Agree with someone or something. Unite. Come together. Accord. The government has agreed that more money should be spent on education.
Preposterous.
Extremely unreasonable and foolish. Nonsensical. Absurd. Unreasonable. Selling dead insects was a preposterous idea, and no one took it seriously.
Exaggeration.
Extreme or overstatement of the truth. Elaboration. Amplification. Magnification. There was a degree of exaggeration in his description of environmental disaster.
Advance.
To go or move something forward. Push forward. Proceed. Progress. Everybody was disappointed when the team failed to advance to the next round.
Mischievous.
Enjoying or having fun by causing trouble. Troublesome. Naughty. Misbehaving. The teachers warned us not to engage in mischievous behavior in the classroom.
Conviction.
A formal declaration by the verdict of a jury. Punishment. Penalty. Imprisonment. Offenders are escaping conviction because the case against them was loosely presented.
Standardize.
To make all the things of one particular type. Systematize. Classify. Make equal. When we want everyone to do something the same way, we must standardize it.
Stunning.
Very attractive, impressive. Gorgeous. Radiant. Fabulous. Inside the cave, she found a stunning pair of gold and ruby drop earrings.
Scrutiny.
A careful and thorough examination. Investigation. Research. Exploration. The project has come under intense scrutiny because of its environmental record.
Traverse.
To move or travel through an area. Navigate. Follow. Pass over. The settlers had to traverse unsafe lands to reach ground that was suitable for farming.
Remarkable.
Worthy of note and attention. Outstanding. Incredible. Notable. The soldiers showed remarkable patience and endurance throughout the battle.
Reputation.
People's opinion about how good something is. Achievement. Goodness. Honor. The president's reputation was permanently tainted by the financial scandal.
Conceal.
To withdraw or remove from observation. Cover up. Control. Reserve. Instead of concealing your secret ambitions, it is better to show what you can do.
Old-fashioned.
No longer modern or fashionable. Antiquated. Obsolete. Outdated. Old-fashioned ideas are being replaced with emerging trends and cultures.
Extinction.
The dying out or extermination of animal species. Destruction. Annihilation. Devastation. Modern farming methods have caused the total extinction of many insect species.
Resolve.
To solve or end a problem or difficulty. Sort out. Settle. Alleviate. It has been challenging to resolve the dispute over the working conditions.
Outrageous.
Highly unusual or unconventional. ostentatious, flamboyant, flashy. The story contains several outrageous slurs against the former president.
Standpoint.
A particular way of considering something. Viewpoint. Perspective. Outlook. Their argument is flawed from an intellectual, moral, and practical standpoint.
Maximize.
To make as high or great as possible. Increase. Escalate. Amplify. In order to maximize profit, the organization would seek to maximize production.
Plausible.
Reasonable and likely to be true. Possible. Convincing. Feasible. Sometimes strongly contrasting hypotheses can seem equally plausible.
Sustainability.
Ability to be maintained at a certain rate. Potency. Reliability. Survivability. Solar energy has a high level of sustainability because sunlight is an endless resource.
Shield.
Protect from danger or unpleasant situations. Defend. Guard. Protect. My mother uses sunglasses to shield her sensitive eyes from the sun's bright rays.
Zealous.
Full of energy, effort, and enthusiasm. Vehement. Ardent. Committed. Her zealous attitude made her a winner in overcoming every obstacle in life.
Prejudice.
An unfair and unreasonable opinion or feeling. Bigotry. Narrow-mindedness. Animosity. The party's policies were based on prejudice rather than on any logical ideology.
Plummet.
To fall very quickly and suddenly. Plunge. Crash. Go down. The town's population plummets when the students leave for the summer.
Sarcastic.
Using remarks that clearly mean the opposite. Sneering. Belittling. Acrimonious. They differ profoundly on many issues, but they have never been sarcastic to each other.
Apology.
A regretful acknowledgement of a failure. Atonement. Plea. Admission of guilt. The head of state has made a public apology expressing his regret for the conspiracy.
Eliminate.
Completely remove, or get rid of something. Evacuate. Expel. Exterminate. The company plans to eliminate more than 1,000 workers in the coming year.
Mournful.
Feeling or expressing sorrow or grief. Melancholy. Dejected. Sorrowful. The mournful sounds emerging from the funeral made everyone very sad indeed.
Wreck.
To destroy or badly damage something. Destruction. Demolition. Wreckage. The new amendments that we are debating could potentially wreck everything.
Confine.
To keep someone or something within limits. Restrict. Limit. Circumscribe. They must confine themselves to the list of items they've agreed on for this meeting.
Sparkling.
Shining brightly with points of flashing. Glittering. Shimmering. Twinkling. The sparkling stars are the best part of the night sky when there are no clouds.
Casualty.
People injured or killed in an accident. Fatality. Death toll. Mortality. Water contamination is causing human casualties and considerable economic loss.
Endeavor.
Effort to do something new or difficult. exercise, struggle, labor. They endeavored to create a government that accurately serves its people.
Indifferent.
Showing or feeling no interest. Apathetic. Heedless. Careless. Young people are becoming increasingly indifferent toward politics and religion.
Stereotype.
A fixed or overgeneralized belief of people. Convention. Generalization. Average. You are likely to spot many people who have stereotyped ideas about women.
Accomplish.
To do or finish something successfully. Achieve. Fulfill. Attain. Any challenging task you need to accomplish will take more time than you think.
Impressionable.
Easily influenced by other people. Susceptible. Malleable. Gullible. The new policy has been implemented to protect young and impressionable viewers.
Resemblance.
A way in which two or more things are alike. Uniformity. Alikeness. Correspondence. She doesn't look exactly like her mother, but there is some resemblance.
Allocate.
Set aside a certain amount of money. Conserve. Hoard. Reserve. The government plans to allocate a significant amount of money for health education.
Empathetic.
The ability to sense other people's feelings. Compassionate. Caring. Responsive. Doctors need to be both clinically competent and empathetic toward their patients.
Contempt.
Lack of respect for someone or something. Loathing. Abhorrence. Disapproval. He feels that wealthy people regard him with contempt because he is poor and illiterate.
Disclose.
To make something publicly known. Expose. Manifest. Display. Members of Parliament are required to disclose all their financial interests.
Hilarious.
Amusing and causing a lot of laughter. Humorous. Comical. Entertaining. Their new comedy show features hilarious sketches and a host of top celebrity guests.
Catastrophe.
A sudden and widespread disaster. Tragedy. Calamity. Mishap. Authorities fear a humanitarian catastrophe if food isn't delivered to the refugees soon.
Alliance.
A union between people, or countries. Agreement. Treaty. Settlement. The two parties formed an alliance with each other to win the election.
Contemplate.
Look at or view with continued attention. Ponder. Meditate. Envisage. My best friend's suicide caused me to contemplate my own joy and happiness.
Ominous.
A feeling that something bad is going to happen. Inauspicious. Menacing. Sinister. Because of the ominous music, we knew something bad was about to happen.
Procrastinate.
To delay doing something that you should. Delay. Postpone. Adjourn. It's easy to procrastinate when the deadline seems infinitely far away.
Vindictive.
Having a tendency to seek revenge. Spiteful. Vengeful. Malevolent. My aunt is a vindictive woman who once burned all my uncle's clothes.
Deficiency.
An insufficient amount of something. Shortage. Inadequacy. Dearth. Excessive iron deficiency can cause developmental delay and growth retardation.
Invigorate.
To give life and energy to something. Energize. Stimulate. Rejuvenate. They argue that a cut in the tax rate would invigorate the existing economy.
Pompous.
Excessively elevated or ornate. Showy. Exaggerated. Bombastic. He was to some extent pompous and had a high opinion of his own capabilities.
Procrastinate.
To delay doing something that you should. Delay. Postpone. Adjourn. It's easy to procrastinate when the deadline seems infinitely far away.
Vindictive.
Having a tendency to seek revenge. Spiteful. Vengeful. Malevolent. My aunt is a vindictive woman who once burned all my uncle's clothes.
Resolve.
To solve or end a problem or difficulty. Sort out. Settle. Alleviate. It has been challenging to resolve the dispute over the working conditions.
Outrageous.
Highly unusual, or unconventional. Ostentatious. Flamboyant. Flashy. The story contains several outrageous slurs against the former president.
Procrastinate.
To delay doing something that you should. Delay. Postpone. Adjourn. It's easy to procrastinate when the deadline seems infinitely far away.
Vindictive.
Having a tendency to seek revenge. Spiteful. Vengeful. Malevolent. My aunt is a vindictive woman who once burned all my uncle's clothes.